Have you ever caught yourself literally rehearsing a conversation in your head over and over again just to avoid an argument? You know, if every single disagreement somehow magically becomes your fault, or if just expressing your feelings turns into this massive attack on your partner's pride, well, then you know exactly what it feels like to constantly walk on eggshells. You're out here constantly modifying your own behavior just to manage someone else's fragile ego.
Hey everyone, and a really warm welcome to the video. I'm so glad you're here with us today. If you've been feeling like you're just surviving an unhealthy relationship instead of actually building a healthy one, I want you to know right off the bat, you are absolutely not alone. Today we're tackling something deeply important, and honestly, it hits pretty hard. Never marry a man who would rather protect his ego than protect your peace. So in this video, we're going to act as your supportive guide. We're going to help you spot those subtle red flags, prioritize your mental health, and ultimately find the courage to choose your own self-respect.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The cost of ego. When feelings stop mattering.
You see, an unhealthy ego doesn't just trigger your everyday run-of-the-mill bickering. It fundamentally shifts the entire ground beneath your feet. Think about it. A healthy, mature partner approaches a disagreement with this amazing ability to listen without getting totally defensive. When you tell a mature person that something they did hurt you, they hear communication. But an ego-driven partner, wow, when you simply ask for a little accountability, he hears criticism. He hears disrespect. When you express your emotional needs, he basically treats them like inconveniences to his day, rather than, an actual opportunity to connect with you. So this constant defensiveness means your needs are just perpetually pushed aside to make room for his pride.
And that brings us to Section 2. Losing yourself gradually. The toll of toxic love. Let's move to this timeline and see exactly how this builds. Because this dynamic doesn't just stay neatly boxed up in your arguments, it bleeds right into who you are. The most tragic part of being with someone who constantly puts their ego first is this creeping emotional exhaustion. And then, the severe loss of confidence that follows. I mean, you don't just lose yourself overnight, right? It happens so slowly, literally one compromise at a time. Maybe in month 1, you just bite your tongue, silencing your voice just to dodge a minor spat. But by month 6, you're constantly questioning yourself, wondering if maybe you really are too sensitive, like he keeps telling you. Then we hit year 1, and this deep emotional exhaustion sets in from constantly managing his moods. And by year 3, you might look in the mirror and see a completely unrecognizable self. It's really this slow, quiet theft of your identity.
Moving on to Section 3, spotting the red flags, identifying the patterns.
So how do we actually stop this cycle? Well, we need to honestly assess our own stress levels before that timeline we just looked at progresses any further. Here are the specific red flags you absolutely need to watch out for. First off, look at how he responds when he's just dead wrong. Does he outright refuse to apologize? Does he always find this magical way to blame others, or maybe even flip the script and blame you for his mistakes? Second, really notice how he handles your emotions. A healthy partner respects your feelings even if they don't totally get them. But an ego-driven partner, they just outright dismiss them. And third, pay attention to your own body. Does his presence create emotional tension? Healthy love creates emotional safety, guys, not this constant tight knot of anxiety sitting in your stomach.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is it forces us to ask a super difficult but totally necessary question. If it's this exhausting, why on earth do we stay? Well, look at this breakdown. 90% of the time, people stay because they are deeply attached to the potential of their partner. Only 10% of that attachment is to the actual reality of the day-to-day relationship. We end up staying trapped. We're waiting and hoping for a change that just never comes. Desperately hoping the guy we see in those rare good moments becomes the person we consistently need. This leads us to Section 4. Marriage amplifies the truth. Love is not enough. So often, we think a huge commitment is going to change things, right? We think a wedding will just magically mature someone. But love alone is not enough to fix a partner who values their pride way more than your emotional well-being. Marriage is not a cure for a fragile ego. So the crucial point is this: marriage amplifies what already exists. It's a magnifying glass, not a reset button. If your partner refuses accountability and invalidates your feelings right now,
A wedding is literally only going to amplify this exact behaviors. If his ego is more important to him than your mental health today, putting a ring on it will just lock you into that draining dynamic permanently.
Because here's what real love actually requires. It's not just about grand gestures or tossing around the words, "I love you." Real love demands humility. It requires a really deep sense of self-awareness. And honestly, perhaps most importantly, it requires the willingness to look at the person you love and simply say, "I was wrong." The core question isn't whether he loves you in his own limited way. The question is whether he respects you enough to grow. Respect and a willingness to evolve are just far more important than just claiming to love someone.
Which brings us to our final and definitely our most empowering section: choosing your self-respect. Protect your peace.
Protecting your peace is absolutely not a selfish act. In fact, recognizing that you deserve more and literally walking away from a situation that drains the life out of you is the ultimate act of courage. It's time to stop chasing validation from someone who seems committed to misunderstanding you. Toxic love demands that you constantly shrink yourself just to make your partner comfortable. It demands you stay small so his ego can stay big. But healthy love, truly healthy love, actively supports your mental well-being. The right partner doesn't make you feel smaller. They create a safe, supportive environment where you're actually encouraged to grow, become stronger, and be completely honest without any fear of retaliation.
So I want to leave you with this provocative question. Have you ever been in a relationship where someone's ego affected your mental health? If you have, I really want you to know that choosing yourself and walking away is the bravest, most vital thing you can do for your future. Please drop your thoughts and share your experiences in the comments below. Let's build a really supportive community right here. If this video helped validate your experience, please hit that like button, share it with someone who might really need to hear this message today, and make sure to follow for more content on setting boundaries and prioritizing your emotional health. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, always protect your peace.